Hi, Earth family. Happy full moon in Pisces. This is your energy weekly report for this week, the last week in August, really, and September coming up here. So what's going on? So we have the full moon in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. So it's a very dreamy sign. It's a very spiritual sign. This is a really great time to daydream. It is a full moon, so it's really great to manifest. This is the time for manifestation, as they say, because we've been sowing the seeds all along in our lunar cycle. So this is a really great time to kind of expect things to manifest and come to fruition. And it's also a really great time to daydream and visualize and do your manifestation visualizations for what you really want to birth. Because right now it's a very magical energy, that Neptunian, Piscean energy. And so take full advantage, because what I hear from astrologers is that it's not going to come around, this kind of magical energy, until December. So take full advantage. We definitely deserve some magic in our lives after everything we've gone through in 2020 and some of the scary things that the spiritual peeps are forecasting in 2021. So I'm remaining optimistic. That's why I do these energy forecasts for you guys, because I would like to give you a little bit of hope. And that's what's really important, is things are cray-cray right now. And, you know, whether you're onto QAnon, have gone down that rabbit hole, or whether you're getting very riled up with the political situation, or whether you're just kind of in disbelief that this whole COVID-19 thing is still happening, and it's very divisive energy with those that are wearing masks and those aren't, and what's going on in the school system, and some of the mandatory vaccinations that are happening in Texas, whether your child is online or in school, and all that crazy stuff. So it's really easy to get caught up in just like the craziness, right? Like the secret space program and the child sex trafficking and all these things. And, you know, just again, like Jacob Blake shot 7 times, paralyzed. It's a tragedy when he was trying to de-escalate, a domestic situation. So there's just a lot of negativity, a lot of darkness going on right now in our planet. And I think what's really important for us to remain in our observer neutral consciousness, to be aware of what's going on, but not to get caught up in the storm, right? Because if you lose your footing, if you lose your centeredness, it's not going to help the planet. What we need you to do is we need you to maintain a high vibration. If you're a starseed, if you're an empath, if you're a light worker, a way shower, a guide, really ideally, if you're holding this 5D high vibration from Mother Earth, what's going to help is it's going to help, shift the collective, because we're communicating with each other on a subconscious and unconscious level, even in the dream time, right? So there's more and more of us that are coming online that are awakened. And so we're super, super powerful. We're waking up to the fact that this planet is a failed experiment, that we do not have free will on this planet, which is it's a big no-no with the Intergalactic Federation, because we're meant to have free will, right? And unfortunately, there have been these, nefarious forces. You've heard of like Jeffrey Epstein and Galen and Prince Andrew. So it's like, and you've heard of all the things going on with pedophilia with the church, and people trying to normalize pedophilia, and all the satanic rituals that have been going on that we're hearing about with Hollywood, and cloning and crazy, crazy stuff. So it's like all this dirt, right? And the astrologers were warning us. They're like, okay, the dark side, the Pluto energy, the Scorpion energy, that transformation, that death and sex and rebirth energy is going to come into play, and we're going to find out all the secrets and all the dirt. And we've been talking about this for a few months, and so it's hard to stomach. It's really, it's not easy not to have cognitive dissonance, which means that we hear all these things and we're like, what? That's crazy. And and you hear about the depopulation agenda, and how because we're so powerful and we're waking up daily, right, on the daily, and together we're so powerful, especially if we're awakened, if we understand that there's this plot to enslave us and the mind control through the media. And I'm not saying these things because I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm woke. I've been woke since 2008, so welcome to the party. If you're listening to me, please share with your friends if this message resonates. If you feel like it's going to give hope to your friends and family, please spread this message, because that's why I was born. I was born to help during this crazy transitional time in New Earth. And to be honest with you, I didn't know it was going to be this crazy. I didn't know there was going to be hurricanes and fires and, civil unrest and you know, all these dirty secrets coming to play and all these powerful people coming down, right? We hear that like Ellen DeGeneres supposedly is retiring. I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently she's being exposed for having toxic work environment. Again, I'm not here to judge anybody, but to me, I find it very, very interesting that now all these things that we didn't even know was going on behind the scenes, right? Like we thought this person was a good person, or we thought Hollywood was, you know, entertainment and stuff like that. But it's very interesting to me. I've been watching some interviews and some, you know, guys from like, you know, the former FBI guy who like basically his whole job was chronicled in the X-Files, right? And he was dealing with all these ETs and things like that. So it's kind of hard to really come to grasp with the fact that all this stuff's been going on behind the scenes and the public is just not aware of it. But anyway, he kind of mentioned something interesting. He said that, you know, because we're meant to have free will, the way that these kind of negative forces kind of go around it is they work closely with the cabal with Hollywood, right? And we've heard about all this stuff coming out in Hollywood, and it's very disturbing. Not only is there like satanic rituals and child sex, you know, trafficking, and unfortunately this drug called, I think, androchromine or something like that, that helps you look younger. If you've ever wondered why Hollywood stars look so young, it's not because they're holistic and natural like myself and using clean beauty. It's probably because there's other nefarious things going on. But anyway, no judgment. But anyway, it's interesting because he said that the way that they circumvent, you know, them doing all these crazy things on the planet and basically controlling us and trying to siphon off, they want to keep us in fear, they want to keep us in anxiety. And if you think about with the whole COVID-19, that's exactly what they're doing, is people are scared, you know, people are anxious, people are in these low vibrations, they're not joyous, right? So and you know, and the way they get around that is through showing through Hollywood films like, hey, this is our agenda. And so when you kind of speak to the subconscious and unconscious mind in movies and imagery, it kind of like preps people, and so that way they're kind of conditioned to accept things. And so he was saying that that's how they get around the free will, and that's how they get around the mind control, is because they're like, well, we told you, right, but they told us in a movie and we didn't think it was real, right, like alien invasions. So it's interesting. Again, I'm not sure how much stock I put into it, but there is this theory that there's going to be this fake, you know, alien invasion supposedly. But this one former FBI guy just recommends to go onto the FBI.com vault and just look at all these declassified cases, which is very interesting if you're kind of wanting to find out and like pull the curtain behind the veil and see what's been really going on, because apparently the FBI has been involved with CIA type of stuff and ET stuff and kind of poltergeist kind of stuff and really crazy woo-woo, like out of the realm of 3D. So if you're interested in that, you can go down that rabbit hole. But what's interesting is he recommended this show called The Colony, and I've been watching it on Netflix. It's very interesting because it kind of depicts if there was an occupation and you have colonies and the mind control and the control of people and how people are living in these very restricted environments and curfews. So kind of hits home a little bit because we had curfews, especially when the riots were happening this summer. You know, we were restricted, supplies, you know, were limited because of the supply chain was impacted. And so it's, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people don't realize, but the 1% pretty much control the agenda, whether it's through the banking system or the Federal Reserve or the Rockefellers or Rothschilds or or the Morgans, right? So it's important for you to educate yourself on what's really going on. Anyway, it's interesting though that they have these central figures, right, that are in control. So it's almost like the cabal, and they're taking orders from these kind of unseen, alien forces that are wanting to use our planet for resources. So I know it sounds like sci-fi, but it's fascinating when you watch it because it's like, how can you live in a system where you're restricted, where you don't have access to coffee, you don't have access to bars? It's kind of like, it's kind of interesting. We're living kind of a crazy parallel reality, right? So just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about educating yourself on that. And really, the best thing to do in these crazy times is to remain high vibing, right? That is your biggest superpower, because when you're high vibing, forces cannot, unseen forces cannot siphon off your energy, right? So you cannot be controlled when you're awake, right? So welcome to the party of an awake. This is 2008, and I feel like Dr. DeAngelis was talking about the fact that, when you're awakened, it's almost like you've woken out of hyper sleep, right? And you're here to not awaken other people. People are going to wake up when they're ready, but you're a bridge to help guide them. So that's what I'm asking you to do, is to have hope, to be the bridge to help, newly awakened people. That's why I created my Lifestyle Reset, and Thrive transformation program. I'm seeing all these other people, coming up with different programs, similar programs. I've been working on this since 2018. That was the download that I got. I'm very lucky that I'm able to connect to source directly and channel. And so I feel like I've been kind of ahead of the game in that. And really what we're being asked to do is to take, advantage of this magical energy. Go shopping, have fun. I mean, while the shops are still open, right? I've been on this huge shopping spree, and I think I mentioned on one of my stories, cleaned out my closet because I'm a Virgo IC, which means that we like a tidy, organized home, a very humble home, and all that. So I've been working on that and feel really great. Got a bunch of new clothes and then edited and donated a bunch of other clothes, and it feels great. You're bringing new energies in, rearrange your furniture. So that's really important. I spent all day yesterday purging because I was getting ready, getting rid of what's blocking me or what's preventing me from, manifesting my dream reality. I feel very, very close to that, and hopefully you do too. So this is the time to visualize, to believe, to dream up this new reality where, all this time that we've been working with this, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, where we've been trying to get away from the old and into the new 35-year cycle, right? Which we're going to cap off by December. So I encourage you to use this time to do that. I encourage you to be in a very joyous, high vibrating state, because you can't be a battery, right? Like the Matrix. The more and more that I think about what's going on right now, I think of the movie The Matrix, right? That we're living, remember Neo is like, oh my God, I used to go to that noodle shop. So that's what's happening, is a lot of people are waking up and they're like, oh my God, like all this craziness has been happening behind the scenes, right? With Hollywood and the media and all that, and unbeknownst to me, I've been sleeping this whole time. So don't beat yourself up. You are awakened now. It's quite frightening and it's quite overwhelming. So don't get too deep into the current and to the depths of the darkness, right? So because I'm a Scorpio moon, I can really go into the depths of the darkness and transmute the unconscious and subconscious for the collective, and transmute earth grids and heal the earth, but you need to come back up. So you're not meant to be in those lower octaves too long and get sucked in there, and you're not meant to be always high vibing, right? So it's an ebb and flow. Just have tea with your feelings and hold space. And how can you feel joyous in a time like this? Go to yoga class, move, right? Go on a bike ride, be with nature, listen to high vibing music. Like right now, the song like Looking for Me by Diplo and This Groove are giving me life. So huge shout out to Megan Hanna and Jordan Kempe, amazing yoga teachers at the Indie Yoga Studio. The fact that you can dance on your yoga mat is just, it's priceless. So I highly recommend just kind of, zhuzhing yourself up and, doing what feels good right now. This is a really good time to get in touch with that. What else do I want to talk about? So, the full moon is tomorrow. So like I said, just, kind of take advantage of these energies in Pisces. And next Wednesday, we're going to experience a Mars retrograde. So a lot of you have been running around, producing, hustling, just getting it done. So, I really feel that right now is a time to let go and let God. It's a time to let go of control. It's a time to stop resisting. So for me, I've had to, for example, stop resisting like makeup and the superficiality of this 3D reality, because for years I've been like, well, everything's energy. Like, why do I have to look a certain way or be a certain size or wear makeup or do my hair a certain way? I kind of resisted that. I was kind of like very like a rebel. And now I realize, okay, well, in this 3D reality, you show up in the physical form, and people, our brain is hardwired for beauty. So we want to see beautiful things, right? So it's like I've stopped resisting makeup. I actually like got clued in to makeup. I'm using it now for these videos. I've stopped resisting marketing. I've stopped resisting sales. I'm doing videos. So it's about you getting out of the way. It's about you allowing spirit to basically run through you. It's almost like you're a conduit, and spirit's like the electricity. So just allow, empty yourself, purge, and allow spirit to really work through you, and stop resisting and let go of control, because control is an illusion, and you're going to feel so much better. So just be in the receiving mode, abundance, remove your scarcity, lack blocks, address and process your fear, Yeah, and I'm so excited to have you part of the journey. Reno with InsideJobHealing.com. Love you guys lots.